Alright, YouTube, time for another chess video. And first of all, I want to say that sometimes I'm tired of these highly pragmatic chess teachers who say, this is okay, it's playable. I'm guilty of this a lot. Well, right now I'm going to make a chess video that's extremely biased. It insults. It's just the kind of stuff that you don't see often and the stuff that I think you're going to enjoy, alright? Now, I like complicated positions when I play chess. I like it when I'm swinging at people, they're swinging at me, I'm ducking and running and stuff and all the things that make chess exciting. But there's a particular type of player and a particular type of opening that tries to avoid all of this. Okay? And it's called the Kali system. This opening is for men without testicles. Okay? It begins with d4, which is not a bad move. Okay? Although maybe not as masculine as e4, it's certainly playable. My play is d5, and I must say that you can get to the Kali system with many different move orders, but let's do it the pure way. e3. Now this move is the pinnacle of pacifism. White says effectively, I don't want to try to win, I'm just going to put my pawn on e3, I'm going to block in my bishop, and basically not really give black any challenge at all. Now, before we just dismiss the Kali system, we have to recognize that in the hands of somebody who knows what they're doing, it's not a bad opening, and it's actually quite aggressive. White will set up a cute little pawn triangle, and then try to play for a little e4 advance later, supported by the knight, and eventually, if black is delusional and stupid, we'll get an attack. But this way, we're going to develop extremely passively and hope for an attack. That's contradictory on the face of it. And that's why the Kali system isn't really used at the Grandmaster level very often, because it simply doesn't really force black to worry at all. Black can simply develop and gain immediate equality without problems. But this immediate equality is a snooze fest. I have fallen asleep at the board during the Kali system. I was actually playing a talented young man named William. Okay, I'm not going to say last names, but his name is William, and he's from St. Louis. He's very talented, and he played the Kali system against me 3 months ago. I fell asleep at the board. I was beating him, and I fell asleep. I woke up, I missed something, and we had to draw. The second time he played against me, I was attacking, I had an advantage, I hang a piece, whoopsie. Okay. Anyway, let me talk about the way I'm going to recommend to play against this Kali system is black, okay? Because I'm not going to go through all the little lines about how to get equality, okay? The Kali system player likes the main lines because it's what they know. It's what they've studied at home. And these players, you see them in tournaments, they're like Mr. Booked Up. There's a dude named Andrew from Kansas City. He's Mr. Booked Up. And I'm thinking, I've never actually heard the guy speak, but I'm thinking he probably sounds pretty nasally like this. And yes, I memorized the Caro-Kann defense 25 moves deep. Really? I don't give a crap. Okay? You've memorized the Caro-Kann. Out of all the openings to memorize, you didn't memorize an interesting line. You memorized the classical Caro-Kann 25 moves deep. Why? What sort of huge threat is going to happen if you don't memorize a 25 moves deep? You're practically in the freaking endgame by then. I'll digress. Let's see how I recommend playing against this Kali system. e3. Well, if white is going to act like he's playing black, then let's be aggressive. I say put this knight up here. This is the sacrilegious move. When you play a symmetrical d-pawn open, you want to use your c-pawn to attack the center. I say no. Okay? If he's not going to contest the e5 square, let's go here so we can take and get this sort of pawn structure. And you know what this looks like? It looks like white. It looks like, sort of. I don't know what it looks like, but darn it, it's somewhat aggressive. You got space. So let's say white just goes with his typical little Kali move and plays bishop to d3 because that's what the setup looks like. You go e5. You say, hey, buddy, we're not going to play your little setup. We're going to change it up a bit. We're going to make you think about a position that you're not familiar with. Okay? How about that? You think he's going to like that? He's not going to like that. He's going to go back. And he's like, I don't know how to play in a cramped position. Because this is like a French defense for white. You think a Collie player is going to know how to play a French defense? Okay? So, now, to be quite honest, knight c6 is not a winning move. White can obviously do something to counteract it. I mean, knight f3 immediately comes to mind simply to prevent, but now it's like, dude, we get to do a pin. And you know, if he goes with this typical stuff, we go here anyway. So to unpin, he's got to go to e2. That's kind of sad. He's all passive now. He's not where he wants to be. We've psychologically won already. Okay? And you know what? If we're really stubborn, you know, we can still prepare this. You know what I'm going to do? Just to mess with his head, I'm going to play queen d7, and I'm going to castle queenside. I don't even know if it's good, but darn it, it's not the typical symmetrical d-pawn stuff that we hate. Okay? Look at this position. Of course, white is okay, but it's something different. Okay? If you're tired of getting into boring positions where you become so apathetic about the game that you end up losing because you simply don't care, play this here. Because you'll care, and then you'll think, and then, holy Jesus, you might win. And you might get points, and you might even win prize money. And you know what? That's why we play. Okay, now I'm going to cover some more so-called boring openings. Alright? The Collie system comes from a family of openings known as the London system and the Tory attack. And they all revolve around the same principle. And it goes a little something like this. I'm gonna play a setup that I really know and that I really like, and I know it really well, and all the tricks and all the traps, and I can beat you if you don't know it. Well, you know what, Mr. Booked Up, Boring, Symmetrical D-Pawn player? I'm not going into it. I'll accept a worse position just to mess you up, just to take you out of the position you love so much. Okay, let's talk about some other openings that don't have any testicular fortitude. The Caro-Kann defense. C6 on move 1. What kind of idiot plays the c-pawn up 1? I mean, for God's sake, this blocks the knight from developing. It doesn't even try to control anything like e5 to go here. Basically, black is making a little plan to attack the center. Well, you know what? You could have gone up with the d-pawn on the first move. The center counter is pretty closely related to the Caro-Kann. Boring-ass pawn structure, white with a slight plus. That's really ambitious, black. I want to play for equality. As black, you know what? You should be playing to win. I don't care what color you are. I don't care if you're purple. I don't care if there's some other color I don't know about. You should play to win. You shouldn't play to draw. You shouldn't play to gain equality. Another opening I can't stand is the Petrov defense. Hey, I'm going to try to get a draw. The Grandmaster earns an easy draw. When did these Grandmasters emasculate themselves and say, you know, Bobby Fischer's rolling over in his grave. Mikhail Tal is doing cartwheels in his grave. Rashad Nejmedinov, or however you pronounce his friggin' name, is doing backflips in his grave when players play chess like this. Mr. Kasakavich, I'm sorry, you're a really nice guy, but you play chess like a little girl, okay? Now, I give lessons, and I'll help you, but you gotta listen to me. You gotta go after him. You gotta try to win, okay? I'm not the best chess player in the world, but when I play you, you better believe that we're gonna slug it out. And you might knock me out. And you know what? That's just fine. Because I'm playing like a man, baby. And I'm going to kick some butt if you don't watch out.